What's up YouTube, and welcome back to my medical school boot camp. So in this series I've been kind of showing you guys the ropes and how to crush third and fourth year, and so we're going to keep going on that path. Alright, so what I want to talk about today is how to set up your fourth year electives. But before I get to that, I want you guys to know that you are greatly loved, and that you are wonderfully and beautifully created, and that you are capable of far more than you could ever imagine. Okay guys, so as you can tell from every one of my other videos, I'm extremely over the top, extremely ambitious, and so I like to get things going as soon as possible. So when should you set up fourth year electives? So again, I'm speaking from St. George students' perspective because that's where I went and that's how we do things. You set up all of fourth year by yourself. So when did I do it? Day one of third year, I messaged every clinical coordinator on our list of electives to schedule, and I asked all of them what openings they had. Okay, and so I did it day one of third year. Now I will say I got emails back from every clinical coordinator pretty much saying, dude, what's up with you? You must be crazy. I don't even have the class before you's elective set up yet. Why are you emailing me? But I showed them love, I showed them kindness, and my name got in their system. So when I would be able to respond later, they would remember me, and so that was one point. And then also, they would usually give me the dates, the first date that it's open for my class to ask for electives. And so that's a huge benefit because then you can just kind of copy that same email, and when that date opens up at 12 in the morning, at 12 a.m., you're going to be sending them that email, okay? So you'll be the first on the list. So in short, when should you schedule these electives? I'd say just as early as possible. All throughout third year, really be trying to get those electives. And so schedule electives as early as possible. And now some of the most important things that I want to talk about are what electives should you do, when should you schedule them, and should you do slack off rotations? Alright, so first off, what electives should you do? So it really depends on your specialty. If you're going into surgery, by all means get as much surgery fourth year electives in as you can. If you want pediatrics, medicine, that goes for any specialty, do those electives, but you don't have to do all those electives. You could definitely do some others that you may never get to do again, just have a little bit of fun. So I'd say 50% of them make it into the specialty of your choice. The other 50%, 25% of that 50% do slack off electives, which I'll talk about. And then the other 25% do things that you think that you would never get to do again. Okay, and then so when should you schedule these electives? And a lot of this depends if you're in the August or January class for St. George's students. And why I say that is because you want some of your fourth year elective preceptors to be able to write you letter of recommendations. So when you're setting up your fourth year schedule, let's go that we just took step 2 CK in May. Okay, or we just took step 2 CK in June. We're going to start our next elective. If you look at my timeline video, we're going to start that next elective immediately. And that elective needs to be a rock star elective. That needs to be one that you're super interested in, maybe even a place that you'd want to do residency at. So for me, it was med peds. I really wanted a med peds rotation right off. And why is because I want that preceptor to write me an incredible letter of recommendation. And then my next two electives, all the way up till September, these also need to be important electives, like a medicine sub-I if you're going into medicine, a surgery rotation if you're going into surgery, important electives all the way up until that September date, because all of these are possibilities of you getting letter of recommendations. Okay, and if you're in the August class, I hate to tell you this for St. George's, if you're in the August class, you don't really get to do that because your step 2 will be in the middle of August and you only have 1 month to really get a solid rotation in before applications are sent off to get that letter of recommendation. Okay, so then what do I schedule after that? So we just did, a crunch time, we just did some crunch time electives, so maybe 2 or 3 electives there. And so these are some of the ones that I said that are things that you want to go into, things that you want to get letters in, things are places that you may want to do residency at, okay? And from there, from October, November, and December, and I hardly ever tell anyone to slack off, so this means it's big, right? Because I'm not about slacking off whatsoever, but this is one time I'm going to tell you to, okay? So October, November, and December, if you can, get easier electives. Most commonly it'd be radiology, pathology, things of that nature where they don't make you be there as much, because you're gonna be super busy. This is crunch time of interview season, and you need time off to go on these interviews. My wife and I, we both went on 16 interviews each, and majority of them are in those months. And so you need time off because you have to go to a dinner beforehand and you have to go to that interview day. So really, as I said again, the slack off rotation should be October, November, and December, all right? So then that leaves us with about 25% more of your electives. And these are ones where I say, do something fun, do something that you never think you'll get to do again, or go somewhere, crazy, or do something just different, because now pretty much interviews are over. You're gonna be submitting your rank order list, and now it's just time for you to enjoy the rest of fourth year. So my wife and I, January and February, we went to Florida. We pretty much lived in Disney World. So we are on Mount Everest, or Expedition Everest. Huh? Had some easy rotations there. We also went to Miami Children's, had an incredible experience there, and had a great time in Miami. Kind of escaped the winter. Brief up this really quick, give you kind of the quick and dirty of these fourth year electives. You want to start off very strong. Electives that you may want to go into, hospitals that you may want to go to, that you can get great letters of recommendations at. That goes till September. Your application submitted, and now October, November, December, maybe get some easier electives that gives you time to get off for these interviews. January, February, March, that's when the January class will end. Take some good electives that you'll have a lot of fun at. Go somewhere different like Florida, get away from the winter, go to Disney World for the month, or whatever it is. Schedule some electives that maybe you'll never get to do again. Like if you're going into medicine, shoot, do a surgery elective if you want to learn how to suture or things like that. So do things that you're interested in, but also have a lot of fun. And I think that may be about it. The only other thing I would say is that if your school requires certain electives, make sure you get those done. So if you're from St. George's, you have to have a medicine sub-I and a pediatric sub-I. The last other point is that from St. George's as well, we are only allowed 12 weeks of out-of-network rotations. And those 12 weeks should be at places that you would want to do residency at, okay? It'd be like an acting internship. You go there, you crush those fourth year electives, and then they'll give you an interview spot. Even if your board scores and everything else aren't that good, if you rock those electives, they're going to give you an interview because they'll want you there because you just shined all throughout that elective. Okay, I lied. One last thing and then this video will end. And this is probably the most important, okay? Every elective, every time you go into the hospital, you are getting interviewed. So treat all of your third year and all of your fourth year electives that you're being interviewed every single day, because you never know when that doctor may be across from you interviewing you. Alright guys, so that's it for fourth year electives. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, please comment below if you have any other questions or if you just want to talk. Please like, share, and subscribe. And before I get off here, I want you guys to know that you are greatly, greatly loved, and that you are wonderfully and beautifully created, and that you are capable of far more than you could ever imagine.